looking at Class C on the ground floor.
And what would you be looking at? What would you be looking at? What would your favourite outcome for this? They're going to grant some classification, aren't they? Some use for it. So what would that be?
My preference is that we don't give him the upper hand on the applications, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but so what class? The question is, what class would you... Is there a Class D or a Class C? Or what would limit him to doing apartments and offices?
Well, I mean, it's... Whatever use is, you know, I don't really have a specific opinion as to what I'd look for on the site. Ideally, I think we'd get him to leave the site alone in terms of this specific applicant, and that's what I'm looking at. So if you think about what this could mean moving forwards, if he secures consent for these, it could have a significant impact on any subsequent applications that he submits. I.e., if he gets consent for these, it could open the floodgates for the other applications. So if you look, at the minute, he's demolished part of a listed building. Now, what we want to do is cause as many problems for him as possible, so hopefully he puts down the site and never touches it again. So if you look at...
Well, we wouldn't want that, Joe. I mean, it'd fall into disrepair, and a Jewish firestorm would ensue one night, and then the building would be lost. I mean, we have to be... Or however much we despise the guy for his actions, we have to be practical on this, and... you know, a lot of the stuff in the application is restoring that building to its former glory. I mean, the balustrades and, you know, the destroying, taking down the chimney. The chimney was never part of the original building, and that there was like an extension, wasn't there? And that was taken down without permission, but it was never part of the original building, you know. So, I think... You know, I mean...
What I'm saying is, if we don't object to this one, and he establishes the residential use on the site through the change of use application of the existing building, it gives him more leverage on the next application if he chooses to submit one for the new build units in the you know, within the curtilage.
Yeah, but the planning department and the councillors on the planning committee have told me, or the group, in no uncertain terms, that he's going to get this. There's no way that they're going to prosecute him for doing these works. You know, if he destroyed a fine building, then there might be grounds. But as you probably are aware now, Preston City Council are averse to taking anybody to court for anything, and the whole city is not really policed well when it comes to obeying regulations. You know, whether it's licensees having stuff that's contravening COVID-19 regulations or what, the Preston City Council do not, and they tell me the reason why is that if they lose and get court costs awarded against them, it's astronomical. And they're scared stiff.
I think we're talking about two different things here, because a listed building is of national significance. It's not local to Preston.
Historical England weren't that bothered, were they?
Yeah, historical England didn't seem bothered when the letter came back from them.
About the demolition of the listed building?
What does it say on the letter, Beth?
They just said there's no objection, then it was up to Preston City Council to do their own report.
Yeah, it was up to the City Council and the Conservation. Now, am I right in saying that Preston City Council do not have a conservation officer?
No, every council will have one.
Right. Do you know the name of the relevant officer in Preston?
I'm sure the team know him. I'm sure we've dealt with him on the Harris Park application. Are we sure, you know, the response that you received from Historic England, what's that in relation to?
The house.
The house.
Change of view.
Change of view.
And are they aware of the fact that the building has been demolished without planning permission? Because that's the bit that
It was the outward appearance of the building. It doesn't actually. It's not concerned with the interior sort of changes, but of which there's only two that I would object to, possibly. Well, definitely the vestibule I would object to, but but we're not sure that isn't actually listed on the thing. It was 0.7
On the heritage report.
on the heritage report. So I'm not sure whether it's been dropped or not. And the other thing is the original panelled doors, interior doors. They want to replace those. So that's the only two items of the original part of the building that they want to change, possibly. You know.
So what that's moving forwards.
Yeah.
But what they've already done is demolish part of a listed building without planning consent, which is
a chimney. Yeah, but what actual parts have they demolished?
The southwest elevation
that have ruined that people are saying it's improved the look of it. You know, I don't want to be spending money that we haven't got. You know, for what? You know, and we want to reserve it for what we really don't want is a load of houses where he felled a load of trees. You know.
We want those trees replanted.
So,
you know, we've only X amount of money, Joe. We haven't enough to fight both things. You know,
and I appreciate that. But the last thing I want is for that application to come forward, and then because
if we fight this application, we won't have any money for the house, which is the main thing. The houses, the 21 houses on the 6.1 acres.
So hopefully, what we were looking at is the strategic view on this. So ideally, we'd bring this application down, and there wouldn't be another application. So
well, there would. He could always apply to build houses on the grounds, couldn't he?
It's up to you, but I wanted to make sure that we've identified the risks here, because one, we don't know if he's going to submit another application. The main one being that if he secures consent for this, he's secured consent for a wide range of uses on the ground floor, which can include industrial processes, and also he's established the principle of residential use on the site, which is a significant step forward towards the new build scheme than where he stands now. And he's also getting out of a very sticky situation in the fact that he's demolished part of a listed building, which is a criminal offence, and he's going to pursue an application that means that his planning title is clean and that he's not liable for any repercussions from that if he secures consent for the listed building application as well.
Can I just say, Mr. Patel has actually bought another property in Ashton and he's been given planning permission with conditions. He's now submitted another application for all the conditions to be removed.
Discharged, yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, let's not get sidetracked.
But that's the sort of guy he is.
Well, we know so.
And who's going to say, even the council tell him not to remove that tile floor, he'll still do it if he wants to. He does it. He knows he can get away with it.
It's completely different with a listed building. It is very, 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 very different. People have gone to prison for demolishing parts of listed buildings without planning consent. It's the reason they're listed is it means they're of national significance, and that's why it's a criminal offence to demolish them. So not only do you need a planning application, you need a listed building application to do anything to them. And he's completed, a lot of works to a listed building without consent. So it's not just a matter of fact of, Preston City Council sweeping it under the rug. There's significantly more interested parties than that, including, Historic England and everyone else. And it's, whether they've been notified. But, it's our job to bring it to your attention, the dangers of not objecting to this application. And, it's what we're here for. Now, we can wait for another application if it does come. But we're saying that now, if, from our perspective, if I was looking at this, I'd definitely be objecting to this application.
Yeah, and what would you do when he submits money for, application to build on 6.1 acres with 21 houses, and you have no money left.
Richard's been looked favourably.
Don't know if he's going to do that. We don't. It's probably
That's the
he's
only reason
going
why
to see the outcome of this application.
Joe, he cut all the trees down.
Yeah, just let Joe speak.
We don't know. We're basing that on the assumption that he definitely is. But if I was a developer, I'd definitely look at the outcome of this first application to see whether it's worth me taking it further. We've seen from the reports in the articles that have been released that he doesn't have much appetite for the site anymore, and that's probably why he's gone in with a reduced scheme, because he knows he's got to deal with this issue surrounding the listed building, because it could be a really big problem for him. But we're essentially saying, no, we're not going to comment on that.
Well, we are, but as individuals, we just can't afford to employ yourselves to do that. I mean, the freedom of information request. It actually took us 3 minutes to do that online, and you were going to charge us £250. I mean, we found that the site, it was actually sold to him for a very low sum indeed, compared with the valuation.
It wasn't just to submit the information request; it was to review the documents and then move it forward from there. But that's a separate thing. I mean, again, all I can do is offer advice. My advice would be to object to this application. But if you don't want to take that advice, it's fine.
It's not that we don't want to. We're just limited funds, and we have to be careful what we spend it on. We've got not just the.
It's like take you've only shot a few bullets. It's like now aiming them at a rabbit when you know an elephant could be coming, and the elephant is the proposal of the prospect of like a mini housing estate on what used to be wooded grounds, But
what I'm saying is, if this is granted consent, it gives him a lot more teeth to come at us.
Well, if you say so, but I mean, we've only limited money, and the people stopped, chipping in with the money, and it's we're not in a position to sort of throw in loads of money at it, so we've got to just cut our coat to our cloth, haven't we?
Okay.
It's just we really just want to, like Michael said, concentrate on the 21 houses. There's been a lot of fundraising in Preston, as you know, with the Harris Park. So people they want to see results, but they've given all they can, really, haven't they? A lot of people.
Well, they might be donating GoFund weary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard raising money, it really is.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and what I'm trying to do is target the funds in the best direction, from our perspective, because we've seen the implications of this listed building point before, and it could be a very, very expensive problem for him. But if he secures consent for it, it won't get a problem.
Well, we've been assured by the councillors, that all over Preston, people have done these things like at the Sumner's pub, and they get away with it. They get retrospective planning permission, because the planners say, and I have seen this somewhere, that if he had applied, he would have most likely got it anyway. He's not done anything to the building that has done anything really bad to it. He's improved it in many respects.
It's things that he's done without planning permission.
Whose comments were those?
Was it the planners or or was it Burrows?
Who?
There's some stuff I've seen recently, and it said that had he asked for permission, it was more than likely that he'd have been granted it anyway. Was it Burrow?
Very, very difficult for one person just to make that assumption.
Well, he's on the planning committee, and he's been an MP. He knows he's the mayor. He knows his way around. I don't like the bloke, but he does know.
So even if a planning officer was looking at that, I'd still say, so someone that is, operates as a planning officer, someone that's got a degree in planning, even for them to say that off the cuff, I think would be unreasonable.
Well,
because it's a listed building. It's identified. It's not easy to get a building listed in any sense, and it's not easy to do anything to a listed building. We know because we've got specific heritage expertise. So we appreciate how important the listed building element actually is.
Yeah, but name one thing or two things that he's actually done to that building that's really spoilt it.
I'm not saying he's spoilt it. I'm not saying he's done anything.
Well, that's what they think. That's where they come from. They're coming from. Well, what has he actually done that's bad to that building? And I know I go down your route and I say, well, it's the principle of the matter. It's the fact that he's gone ahead and done it without prior permission, and that's not the way we do things in Britain. But you don't get anywhere, Joe. They say, well, yeah, in a perfect world type of thing. But then they say, but he hasn't done anything to that building except improved it, So
it's the ignorance of the man that he can just walk down. Lancashire County Council closed that building in lockdown. The guy comes in, walked in, cuts all the trees down, knowing that people can't do anything about it, the general public can't do anything about it. Trees that have been there years and years and years, and
he knows all this,
he just didn't care. It was arrogant, and we want those trees replacing.
So now he's demolished part of the listed building, and we're not commenting on it. And this is our opportunity to, is what I'm saying.
Well, we're going to comment on it, but we just can't afford your services to do so. It's where's them two pieces, the applications, Ben?
I don't know.
I had them on my thing.
That minute.
Oh yeah, they're. I mean, what we're going to try and do him for, removal of a corridor that wasn't part of the original building, cleaning of the facing brickwork and stonework. I mean, that's improved the look of the place, surely. We're not averse to a car park. Removal of a modern brick chimney. Oh well, we wanted that down, really, didn't we?
So any one of these elements of the listed building could have been a significant element of the building itself. It's a criminal offence to demolish part of the listed
It could have been, but I mean, they're going to look at this in cold light today, and he's going to replace a UPVC window to match the existing sash windows. I mean, that's good. Let's not get carried away. Let's see it in the cold light of day. And this is how the people will decide on this. And they might say, yeah, naughty boy, you should have asked first, but you've not really done anything bad to the building, and they're not going to do anything to him, Joe. And we'll have paid you a load of money, and we won't have got anything. I could almost guarantee it.
See how different a listed building is to a normal building, and that's why you can go to prison for it. But it doesn't matter.
He won't go to prison for this. I mean, honestly, be honest. He's not going to go to prison for this. He ain't going to get any sanctions on him whatsoever. Let's be honest.
If we leave it, then it's out of our control. If we comment on it, then we can apply pressure. And that's where we stand at the minute. So we can either let it run its course, and it can go either way without our impact. But we have got a significant amount of experience in dealing with heritage assets. We know how significant this is. To even wash the face of the building is significant. The fact that he's demolished part of the building is even more significant. So the danger is, if we leave it into the control of Preston City Council, who we know haven't delivered to date, and from the sounds of it, Historic England haven't even notified, but they will be. So we've got a significant amount of experience in applying pressure to things like this, and we know the impacts, and we know how to approach it. And this is our chance now. The consultation's open. There's an opportunity to submit comments, and this is our one opportunity to do so. If not, then there's no third-party appeal process, and he goes untouched if he secures consent. If he doesn't, then that's fine. But we've left it to chance.
Well, we will comment. There's a few of us going to put comments in, and show our, that we're upset that, he should have gone through the correct way and applied first before doing any of these works. But, we are, at the end of the day, we've got to be realists, and we've X amount of money, and we want to reserve it for when he, and I'm sure he will, apply or try to apply to get housing on that land, because he's going to make a lot of money, isn't he, doing that? And we are getting the ombudsman involved because we think the asset itself has been sold not at the going rate, and we want to know why, because the statutory legislation which requires councils to realise the best price for any asset that they discharge. And I don't think they have in this, because how can they say £481,000 is a lot less than £800,000 that it was valued in 2016 at the land registry? So there's questions got to be asked there, hasn't there?
Yeah.
Because this wasn't a community asset transfer, so it was a commercial deal. So there's no excuses there. Why it was pulled from auction and sold, I just can't understand. I've talked to other developers, and they said they'd be looking to pay, into seven figures for that site. So, it's not just Larches House. There's a caretaker's house with 3 bedrooms also on that site, which was included in that price. I mean, you know yourself, the price.
And outbuilding.
6.18 acres. There's something very, very, very strange about all this, Right.
Okay. Right, well, that's fine. I mean, obviously, I just wanted to make sure that you're aware, of the risks, etc. But that's fine. I'll update the team and then.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks, Joe.
We appreciate you ringing and contact everything we've done and contacting us. We have discussed it with the fellow.
Yeah. There was no. Everybody's of the same opinion, So, and we didn't. I said to Beth, let's just let the others decide without us saying what we think ourselves, and they came to the same conclusion without any influence from ourselves, which I was glad about. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, Joe. All right.
Okay. Thank you both.
All right.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Joe. Bye.